Hello, everybody. Welcome to Championship Predictions, round 26. Sam, we're finally at the end of the Christmas slog, and this is the last round coming up this weekend. And my God, I said I needed a win, a rare win for me in the last round. Sam, I was bob on with Cardiff 1, Coventry 1, which was quite funny because if you remember the show, it was a complete, I don't know what to say, so I'll just say 1-1. Hull 0, Boro 1 I got. You had a Desmond, actually. Plymouth 2, Bristol City 2. A 9-7 win for me. You're still 4 up in the weekly, 13-9. And you are 18 up in the aggregate, 194 to 176. So you're probably going over the 200 mark this week. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, mate. Yeah, I think there's still a long time to go in this race for silverware, but I feel like George Graham will be happy with just like a little narrow defeat at this stage with the cushion I've got. So I don't want to be the pragmatic. So I'm hoping for a bit more of a free scoring weekend this time around, but I'll take it. I'll take it reluctantly.
You know the deal here. Fixtures will be in the comments, so copy and paste them. Put your predictions down there as well. Give yourself a point if you get correct outcome, home, away, or draw. Give yourself 3 points for a correct scoreline. Give yourself a bonus point if you get a correct scoreline which has 5 or more goals. Sam, you are up first with a Northwest Lancashire derby between Blackburn and Burnley.
Well, firstly, my preparation time this morning was very limited, and I think everyone's in a little bit of a haze. But I just had a little look. I don't think Blackburn have beaten Burnley since 2010,
Wow.
1-0 in the Premier League. I'm really sorry if it's the other way round. I'm really sorry if this makes no sense whatsoever because, like I said, it was just a brief little dig. I'm not going to suggest it's my forte, this derby, in terms of the most recent results. I think that 9 of the last 10 have been in the Championship, 1 game in the League Cup, and there's been 4 draws and there's been 6 Burnley wins.
Wow.
So Blackburn are very much due one. And
Didn't they win the title at Ewood? Is that right? When they were under company, I'm sure they either confirmed the title
ooh,
or I think they got promoted at Middlesbrough, and I think they
right.
confirmed the title at Ewood. If hazy memory, the comments will tell us, Sam.
I can see the celebrations, but I can't tell you in front of which away stand it was. However, I think Blackburn gets something here. I think in
Hmm.
keeping with recent results, it'll be low scoring, especially where Burnley are concerned. Lovely to receive a text message this morning from a friend saying if Burnley could perhaps get a little bit duller, they've brought in Ashley Barnes today,
Well, he's got a
um,
good record against Blackburn as well, hasn't he? I think.
which is doing a very much doing a disservice to Scott Parker's attack and Ashley Barnes' career as a very good centre forward. But you catch my drift. It's not been electric going forward. However, yeah, I think share of the spoils here is the safest play. 1-1 in the Lancashire derby.
So I could agree with you and take the nil F in nil, which I think it was in the first game. No, it was 1-1, wasn't it? Vyman scored that silly volley and Gay got red carded, didn't he? Is that right? I'm trying to remember all this. But I feel we're in 2025, Sam, and I need to make a play to try and catch you up here, don't I? So I need to be a bit more creative and try not to double you up quite so much. So for that reason, I'll follow all your form lines and I'll add 1 goal on for Burnley and give them the away win in the derby. I'll go Blackburn 1, Burnley 2. Stoke versus Plymouth. Who would have thought Stephen Schumacher would be managing neither of these teams when we did this? But he isn't. And Mark Robbins is going to be managing Stoke. But Plymouth is open again. The podcast next week, the Championship Check-In, will be a manager special. We will talk about Robbins. We'll talk about Rooney. We'll talk about Corberon. We'll talk about Neil. We'll talk about all of it. We haven't had the chance. It's been mad. But for right now, I've got to call a new manager bounce for Mark Robbins, a clean sheet, a home win, and another Plymouth away defeat while they're in disarray without a manager. Let's go Stoke 2, Plymouth 0.
Can I just say 1-0 and shall we move on
Yeah?
quickly? Yeah, 1-0, I think. Can't see it turn around just yet for Argyle on the road. They're going to have to win at some point, but I tend to always side with the home team here, especially if there's not a great deal between them in terms of league position and form, but new manager, it's going to be a good atmosphere. 1-0.
Swansea versus West Brom. This could be awkward for Luke Williams.
It could be, and I'm going to play on the disruption factor here. Maybe a little bit of focus lost. Bit of a job, isn't it? I suppose if there is anything in the rumours for the Swansea staff, the Swansea players, to be in the fully focused, correct mindset. You know what I mean? State to go and take on West Brom, who performed really well last time out. So I'm going to go for another narrow West Brom away win here. I think I've done that a few times recently. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Baggies.
Yeah, I like that, Sam. Interesting. Josh Madger scores a brace a couple of days before the transfer window opens. Him and his agent have timed that very nicely. I'm sure it's going to be a very long month on the mobile phone. There, he's going to be heavily linked along with Mr. Latte Lath as the kind of hot strikers at the top of the Championship. I'll play it down the middle then, Sam. I'll take the 1-1, but I can very much see your scenario of a bit of disruption and West Brom sneaking in there for the win. It's Bristol City versus Derby. I think we joke about players having transferred between these two teams quite a lot, don't we? Feels like Derby. Feels like how do I say this? Is it a bit hapless? I look at their numbers sometimes, and you think they should have more points than they've actually got. Do you know what I mean? In game, it looks like they're making chances, and they're in games and going under in a few of them. So I wonder whether that might be the case in this one. Prefer Derby at home, so I'm going to back Bristol City, but Derby will probably have more shots and more XG and all of that stuff. Let's go 2-1 Bristol City, Sam.
I think it's going to be hard for you to recoup points this week, mate, because I'm just like, I'm on the same page with you at the moment with the majority of the games and the outcomes that we're talking about. I'm going to go for Bristol City here. I think they've won 3 out of the last 4 at home and not conceded in those 3 victories. And I'm going to go for the same line of victory here, 2-0 to Bristol City. Derby, you said hapless, certainly hapless away from home, just the 1 win still. So massive contrast. And if they stay up, it'll be because of the form at home.
And I think they will, by the way. Hull versus Leeds, Sam. Hull took Middlesbrough to the last minute, ultimately lost. And just to pay this off, do you remember my faffing about, convincing myself not to call Leeds 1, Blackburn 1? And then it was bloody Leeds 1, Blackburn 1, Sam.
Yeah. John Eustace is what's the terminology you use? The kryptonite?
Right. Yeah, Daniel Farke.
Daniel Farke talked to him up pre-match and exactly how it played out. I'm going to go for Leeds here by 1-0. Hull still not being able to score, looking more solid. Again, you trust that he will turn things around. I think Ruben Sellers, or at least make them more competitive in the second half of the season. But I can just see Leeds winning this one, given that they were frustrated last time out. 1-0.
Yeah, I like that. Can I say, Sam, I went to this game when Bielsa was Leeds manager, and for about half an hour, it's probably the best EFL Championship performance I think I've ever seen in my life, with one of the best goals I've ever seen in the champ. I can't remember who scored it on the back post. Oh, who was that lad? He went to QPR on loan. Oh, I can't remember. One of their strikers. He was at West Brom.
Tyler Roberts?
Tyler Roberts. Yeah. Scored an incredible team goal. So I'll go with those memories and go for Leeds to have a few more goals. I will go Hull 1, Leeds 3. Middlesbrough versus Cardiff, Sam. Am I going too early if I say Middlesbrough are looking more durable? I like it when I see them get a clean sheet away from home and nicking a late win. You need those, especially if you're going to win a playoff campaign, which it looks like they're going to have to do if they're going to get over the line here. Cardiff, didn't they have the win at Watford? What was their last result?
1-1 at home to Coventry with 10 men, wasn't it?
Yes. So they've had 2 good results, haven't they? I'm still going to back Middlesbrough, though, Sam. In the Sol Bamba derby, rest in peace, obviously. Let's go. I'm going to go 3-1 again. Middlesbrough 3, Cardiff 1.
Yeah, I like Middlesbrough for a kind of bounce back here after 2 really tight games. And Cardiff have had a brilliant return. So I'm just going to go for, 4 points in 2 tricky looking games. And I haven't seen Cardiff across these 2 games. So I'd like to probably have a little chat about them and see how they're acclimatising under the proper tenure, if you like. Now Moritz is the full-time gaffer. But I'm going to go for Boro to do what they were doing early part of the season. I'm going to go for a thumping 3-0.
Oh, Norwich versus Coventry, Sam.
Yeah, it feels like Norwich, despite, still some obvious absentees are, over their blip possibly. And Coventry, there seems to be, I don't know if it's because I just follow quite a lot of Coventry, fan pages and blogs and stuff, but my timeline's always got loads of Coventry stuff on it. So maybe I'm just feeling that I'm reading quite a lot of negativity over the positive stuff that they've seen since the change of manager. But I'm going to go for Norwich here. And I'm going to go for Norwich to win by 3-1. Entertaining game.
Yeah, I might have to soup this up here. I kind of like both teams to score in a Norwich win, but I'm also chasing you in the predictions here. So I might play a Desmond here, although I do agree with you that I think Norwich are going to trend up. Now, just need to get Sargent back in there, don't they? And I think they're, looking pretty nice. I assume there's going to be someone coming in if they've let Barnes go out as well. Let's go for a Desmond. I'll go Norwich 2, Coventry 2, but I'm more inclined for both teams to score on a home win there. But hey, we're playing tactical here. And it's Preston versus Oxford, Sam. And this is a difficult one to call because Gary Rowett is on the new manager bounce of all new manager bounces. 3 out of 3 he's won. And they won the first away game, didn't they, at Millwall. Preston are in nice form as well. So let's go right down the middle. I'll throw in my 1-1 here, Sam, and give them both credit for their recent form. I'll probably make Preston slight favourites, but I don't see Oxford losing at the moment.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I've never been more sure of anything in my life here. 0-0. Good point for Gary Rowett. Keeps Preston ticking on. Gary Rowett, I think I've forever said, so strong at setting up a team. And I think going away to Preston, you close it down, you be quite cautious, and you try and come back down after a brilliant Christmas with a point. And I think they can achieve it here.
0-0. It's Sheffield Wednesday v Millwall, Sam, and we didn't get a chance to talk about Josh Windass scoring from a different postcode. Well played, fella.
Well, I heard his old man on Hawksby and Jacobs yesterday afternoon. Cool, that's even a blur. It felt like it was yesterday, but it definitely was yesterday afternoon when I was hanging up some washing. Obviously, purring about his lad notching in a similar fashion to which I'm sure his old man did at some point in his career because he had a hell of a strike, didn't he? So this one, I mean, immediately when I saw the fixture, Joe Edwards went there, didn't he? His first game as Millwall manager to Hillsborough and won 4-0, if you remember, last season. I can't see that happening again, but I can see them being really competitive under Alex Neil. But I just think you've got to back Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, despite their home form being a little bit indifferent across the campaign. I'm going to go for Millwall to return south with nothing, 2-1 to Wednesday.
It's a scribble, Sam. I wanted to take the 2-1 there. I think I'm going to back Wednesday. I think Alex Neil will start sorting out and getting his strategy going in the next 2 weeks across with the FA Cup third round in there as well. I'll take a 2-0 instead then. I'll hack the Millwall goal off then. We'll go Sheffield Wednesday 2, Millwall 0. It is Watford versus Sheffield United, and we can no longer talk about Watford being undefeated at home, and we can no longer talk about Sheffield United being in the top 2. They're out of it on goal difference. We know they've been depleted with injuries, Sheffield United, but it's been a bad run, hasn't it? 1 point in 3 games. I think they're going to bounce back. I think they're going to win here, Sam. I'd imagine someone will appear who hasn't been playing. Maybe it'll be Vinny Souza. I don't know. I don't know how long these injuries are. Raksaki. I think there's a few of them on the verge of possibly coming back. Chris Wilder said Watford 1, Sheffield United 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw here, and I'm going to go for an entertaining draw. I think Watford, I've not checked this of late, but they were very much kind of the entertainers, maybe not in terms of some of the score lines, but creating loads, conceding loads of chances. So I'm going to go for a bit of a continuation of that here. I think the outsiders will feel that aren't heavily across the Championship, that they maybe will drop like a stone now, Watford. I don't know. I think they've got some quality. And when I've seen them, they've been really well coached, put together by Tom Cleverley. So I'm not so sure they're going to fall away. Whether they have enough, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go for 2-2 here. And I think quite refreshing, actually, hearing Chris Wilder just say, and he's been quite vocal in it, just quite short. You know, we need some players. We need a big January. And normally they play their cards so close to their chests, managers. But I agree. I think if
I
Sheffield
think you
United
might be talking to the new owners there, Sam.
Yeah, I think if he gets 3 players in, you know, give or take, 3 players that can be good squad players, not necessarily come in and absolutely smash up the league, but if he can bolster that squad, then there's no reason why Sheffield United can't stay the pace with the other 2. But just maybe dropped off a little bit in terms of the attacking stats and struggling for goals in the last 3 now. So yeah, 2-2 here.
Sunderland v Pompey, very erratic Pompey, smacking in 4-goal wins at home and 4-goal defeats away from home, Sam.
Yeah, I want to get down to Fratton soon because playing some good stuff, aren't they, in front of their own fans? Just a big contrast. I mean, there's so many teams. I mean, like Plymouth, Argyle, Derby,
West Brom. West Brom are completely different, yeah.
Across the divisions as well. There's so many teams that are just so contrasting home and away. Well, putting that into play here, maybe I'll just shorten my margin of victory. I'm going to have to go for Sunderland here. The travel, the amount of games, although Portsmouth have been rotating quite heavily across the last 2. How many 2-1s have I had? 2-1. I'll give Pompey a goal due to that injury issues across the board at Sunderland, but 2-1.
Yeah, I do like Pompey's attack line. If you think about it, when Bishop's there and Murphy and Lang are all there, they're worth a goal. But I do have big respect for Sunderland's defensive setup and what Regis Labrise has done there. So I'll take do you know what? I'm going to take a 3-0. Sorry, Pompey fans, just on the basis that Sunderland are good defensively and it has been a bit loose away from home from Pompey. But as Sam says, down at Fratton, very, very good indeed. Sunderland 3, Pompey 0. And you will be able to hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Sam Parkin covering QPR versus Luton, which is on Monday night.
On the wireless, this is. I'm doing Talk Sport on Monday. Yeah, Monday evening, 8:00 kickoff. So on the wireless for that one.
Very nice too. It's a day off going to QPR for you, Sam, isn't it? Look, I have consistently backed against Luton away from home, and it pretty much has always worked. They've been hopeless away from home. QPR are trending upwards. I think I had a stat, I don't know, like 12, 14 games worth or 10 or something like that. They're in the top 6 for form. So I'm going to back QPR. Let's give Luton a goal. Let's go for a fun one. No one's played for a bonus point here. Let's go 4-2. QPR 4, Luton 2. I bet you ain't doubling that up, Parkin.
Going same outcome, but I'm not going feast of football, mate. Yeah, I mean, I was across. Well, I had an eye on QPR Watford the other day when I was getting ready to do some work on another game, and I mean, they look transformed from 6 weeks ago. Like honestly. So yeah, players coming back in. Obviously, the defensive solidity has been really good. I see this one being tight, to be honest. I think Luton might have to, I don't know. It's difficult to, think of what their best approach is at the moment, especially away from home. But again, like the teams we've just spoken about, not getting results away from home, that's an understatement. So I'm going to go for Rangers, but I'm going to go for Rangers for a grubby 1-0 on Monday night.
Stinks of it, Sam. Stinks of it. Grubby. Get your mitts on that. Get involved down there in the comments. Get your predictions in. We'll wrap this up quick because Sam's got to take his beautiful boy off to the holiday club very, very soon. Check Sam out on TalkSport on Monday night. We will be back with a Championship check-in podcast, and we will finally get to talk about all the managers' predictions in the comments, and we'll see you for that next week.